So, hello everyone. Welcome to Passport Profiles, a Dorian Destinations podcast. We're super excited today because we have like one of the leaders in the river cruising industry that I think is making a splash. I don't want to be corny with dad jokes, but
I think you just did.
You did that. It's okay. We all heard it.
ruined it.
We all heard it.
Babe, you want to introduce Jen to the world?
This is Jen, and she is the CEO of Riverside Luxury Cruise Line, which we got to meet in Vienna in March at the River Cruise Expo. And you have no idea how happy I am that we got to meet because, you know, one of the things that I think we're going to be touching base upon is that we love river cruising. And I guess when you look at us,
love river cruising. That's why we're here. So thank you for loving it.
Yeah. And so I just, and when I tell my friends, they're like, river cruises. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. You don't understand. So I'm so happy that you're here and hanging out with us today.
Yeah, I'm like super stoked.
Well, we are truly honored, and especially as a newbie in the space. So it's definitely one of my charges. So let's tell people what is so amazing about river cruise.
But yeah, we're definitely going to dive into that. To the joke. That joke.
He's on that roll. Okay. Well,
yeah, there you go. But we will. We are going to get into that. But we do want to start to get to know you first. We want the people to get to know you first. So as we kind of talked in our pre-interview, we do kind of want to understand who you are, where you come from, what led you to this precise point in your and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Well, yeah. So I've been with Riverside now. It'll be 3 years in September. I can't believe it. It's like, what? Yes. So, I was hired number one. I oversee the whole North American team. So we are now a team of 12, which is really cool. Our home office is in Hamburg, Germany. And we also have a call center in the Canary Islands. And we can probably get into that a little bit when we talk more. But just to let you know, I'm here in Colorado. So, but I've not only been doing river cruise for almost 3 years. I actually previously was with Avalon Waterways, wonderful premium river cruise line. Still, those people are my family. And so I've been really at the river cruise thing for like 22 years. So I don't know, maybe I know some things, but, but I live in Colorado, even though I grew up in Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're definitely going to tackle that. We're going to dive into that. It's going to be interesting. I mean, you spent, again, over 20 years, correct? And in the industry already. And like from what did you learn, like working in a corporate travel environment? Like what does it teach you in terms of like how travelers are evolving or how to communicate to the traveler? The ever so evolving traveler, like what does that tell you?
Well, first, I think a lot of people think, oh, I love working travel. It's so easy. And at the end of the day, travel is immensely complex. And, it's ripe for a lot of air. I like to say, it's a human experience being sold to humans by humans. What could go wrong? So, you know what? It can be very complex. The front end is obviously amazing. And I think, everyone should travel. And this world is so big, everyone should travel differently. But just get out there, right? When you get outside your comfort zone. But, for me, it's a small industry, my number one mantra is be true. It's like, it's not hard. We can all do it. We all have the capacity to do it. And, but I think, what I really appreciate is that why like when I think about why travel advisors become travel advisors, right? And I think I asked to ask this for a message, and I looked into on National or Global Travel Advisor Day, and I looked right in the camera, and I said, "Don't let anyone tell you what you do is not important. It's actually critical." So right up there, in my opinion, with doctors and financial planners. Because at the end of the day, if we're not traveling, we're not growing. And the travel advisor facilitates life-changing moments at every turn. And they do it by wading through a ton of tough stuff, I'll say. So.
That I'm so happy she said that. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more because I think, like you mentioned financial advisors, right? Like people put a lot of time and effort and they put their faith in a financial advisor for their financial wealth in the future. But people forget that traveling is their spiritual wealth. It's their mental wealth. And and you have to put it in the hands of someone that you trust, someone that, again, just like a financial advisor, you need that guidance. You need that person that's going to take care of those experiences for you and guide you in the right way.
Not to mention, I tell everybody, this isn't an investment. Traveling, when you're taking your family and taking that time and energy to do all of that, you are investing not just, beautiful experiences, but you're investing your money, and you want to make sure that you are getting the best of what you can with somebody that's knowledgeable rather than just Googling or chat GPTing. A lot of us have been there, done that, and we know. So I always tell everybody that, you always want to just make sure that you, just like you're protecting your money, you want to protect your travel.
And again, and
that's where we come in.
Jobs, right? So, why, I get some people are like the planning process. Well, you know what? You can like parts of it, get in there, get comfortable with what you want to do, but then turn it over to someone who can then take it to another level. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want more? Who doesn't want better when they travel?
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
You just inspired me today. I'm telling you. You know what? I'm going to ease back on the dad jokes. So I don't want to torture you. In terms of when did specifically river cruising like capture you? Like what about river cruising said, you know what, I'm going to go into this field. I'm going to go into this market.
Well, what's interesting is when I landed at Globus, it was just travel. I had worked, I had a small stint at trip.com. For any of you that are around my age, you might remember it was one of the early internet travel sites. But my first foray into travel was my very first job. I worked for the Colorado Avalanche hockey team when they moved from Quebec. And while I was working there, the woman who kind of did all the team travel went on maternity leave. For a couple month period there, I was like talking to the charter company and picking the meals for the players, so that was pretty cool. But then I was at trip.com, and then I left and I did a couple .com things. And so when I landed at Globus, I just really wanted to get back into travel. And ironically, the year I joined is the year they immediately started with Avalon Waterways. So I didn't know about river cruising either. I was just like, Globus is a very well-known name. But then during my time at Globus, I, moved up in marketing, and then I moved from marketing into sales, which I probably should have been in sales the whole time, but that's okay because, our journey is our journey. And I think my marketing background is very useful, obviously, in the sales function. So once I moved over, I got to do things like help partners plan charters. I got to go on more river cruises. And I just was like, I'm sorry, this is it. Like, I don't know why anyone would not do this style of travel, especially when you're celebrating something or you have a group of people you want to travel with, because is the easiest way to see Europe, but it's also the most flexible and fun way to see Europe. Because you can come with 10 different people and they can all have different interests. And, the excursion list comes out. You pick this, they pick that. Everyone, goes to their own quarter, comes back at night, sitting at happy hour, or then going to the dinner and they're sharing what they did. And it's like, why? And why would you want to be we've all been on that trip, right? Exactly. And it's like couple couples.
Everybody wants to do something else.
Couple couples. One person is like the super planner, and then they get really frustrated when people's inability to make decisions. And then one person just starts drinking heavily in the morning and everything goes to hell. No, but
that's us. That's pretty.
And it really allows you to everyone's personal travel persona thrive on vacation without any conflict with the other person's travel persona. So why not?
What I love about it, and I think when I try to explain to my clients, are like river cruising, I'm like, well, think of it as a floating hotel. And not, you don't have to go 2 hours to get into the main city. You are in the main city. So it's just, you're walking distance into whatever city that you're in versus catching a transfer and getting transported from the port. I mean, you are literally in the center of the city. But I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding that concept because they're thinking big boats, and I'm like, no, this is even better.
And this is something I've been talking about a lot recently, and I just think it's important for advisors. It's important for travelers. river cruise is so much closer to land than it is a cruise. It's called a river cruise because you are cruising on water, but it is so much more like a land vacation, but in an easier way. Because some people are just cruise averse, or when they hear the word cruise, they think 5,000 people. This is intimate. You can't cruise the interior of Europe anyway. But it really is it is like a more, pampered way to do land. So truly a win-win.
Pampered. I like that. I like that way.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And I said it to people, like, I think the word cruise hurts river cruising because there's an attachment to ocean cruising, right? And immediately they start thinking that, and it's like, no, it's a completely different experience. So I couldn't agree with you more.
Yep.
I think it should be more like river experiences or river adventures or something.
No, they're getting
a
ship. So, but what I tell cruisers is if you're, if you have your website or you're doing something, you need ocean, river, and land. Okay. You need those 3 buckets. Do not tuck it under one or the other because you're not letting her shine. And actually she is the belle of the ball these days. So let her shine.
She is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's great to say because I think people are more talking about it. I know in our generation, we talk about it all the time, and we still get a little bit of a pushback, but it's definitely becoming more on the map to be more accessible. And I think people are our age are putting it on the map, then they're thinking about it.
Yeah. And I think, and we're definitely going to dive into that again. Sorry, for the pun. But yeah, I know we're going to dive into that a little bit later, but yes, I agree. I think there's a shift happening, and honestly, Jen, and not for nothing because you're our guest, but I think you're one of the leaders of that. And I think, I want to thank you because I think people need to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of your leadership, like, how does your leadership reflect a passion for travel? Like your passion for travel, does that bleed into your leadership? Does that bleed into the people that report? Like, how do you put that travel into your, travel into your leadership or leadership into your travel?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, for me, I am who I am. If you saw me in my personal life, you see me in my professional life, you're not going to see 2 versions of Jen. You get one, and you like her, or maybe you don't. And so, but at the end of the day, really the kind of traveler I am personally is I'm about being in a place that I've never been, having cool experiences. I'm not about actually even saying like I saw. I love to walk around, take pictures of graffiti in different, cities. Having an experience, I'm still trying to see live music in Europe. I've seen like in little bars and stuff, but like last time I was with my son, Biba Doobie played in Cologne the day after we left, and I was like, you're right there. So I really travel for the human experience. I think that's the base why all people should travel. And so when it comes to me being a leader, I'm human AF. I really am. And I want my people to be human and authentic and be themselves. And they better not all be the same, or I actually don't even hire them all to be the same. So because we're going to be a small team. And when we do need to do problem solving together, we need different perspectives. I like to say, as many people as there are in the world, that is how many worldviews there are. See, one, you shouldn't be trying to change someone else's, but you should just own yours. And I do that, and that's how I lead.
I love that. I do.
I'm telling you, we're going to come out of here super inspired.
I hope so.
You are fantastic. No. Yes. Jesus, I love it. I love it. I'm like floating on air. But, I agree with you. Like, another thing that we've talked about, and, obviously, because this is actually our living room. It's not a studio. This is our living room. And this is a music room. And we have a lot of talks with a lot of friends here with wine and drink. And when we do talk about travel, we always say, like, you could see a Paris that I haven't seen, and you haven't seen the Paris that I see. There's one Paris, but there's a multi-dimensional Paris. Like, there's so many, because there's so many people that have seen it, and people react to it and love it and feel it differently. So yeah, what you said there really hit a topic there.
I think it's important too. Whenever I talk to my clients, the first thing I always ask my clients is like, what is it when you travel? What are you looking for? And I have people, I need an itinerary where I know what I'm doing every day. Or I have the people, I love adventure. I have food. And then I have those that saying, I just want to be in the city and be. And I love that because you want to be in the city and just be and kind of explore and dwell on that. So that's, to me, is an important thing. Like, and I think we're like that. We love to be in the city, get lost, walk around. You know, I love getting in a car and driving. That's like my favorite.
I'm a big fan of a road trip.
Plans.
I'm a big fan of a road trip for sure.
Yeah, except RVs. I'm not a fan of RVs, but
There might be a story there. Okay, we can come back.
Yeah, and a lot of no. There's several stories, but we could talk about it in person.
Okay, that's it. Not intensifying it. No, that's all right.
The good news is that we're not on Dateline ID.
Okay,
there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, she almost killed me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm done.
So moving on. So home sweet home. This is that next segment where really I think we touch upon you're an amazing leader and a little bit about your corporate background. But we want to understand home sweet home. Like what made Jen? Like where is that home Jen? For you? Is it Michigan? You mentioned Michigan, Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? True. There, it is that. I was born in Michigan, raised in Michigan to very young parents. They had me at 18 and my sister at 21. Remember yourself at 18 and 21, right? So I'm here, live to tell the tale. But, so very Midwestern. I mean, I grew up on, cold winters, hockey, the Lions, bless their heart. And we got so close this past year.
Yes. There's some very close. I was rooting for you guys.
Lions team.
I grew up with Barry Sanders.
Yes.
I grew up with Barry Sanders, so I love it.
Football. We'll talk about for another day. But,
yeah, exactly.
My mom's oldest sister moved to Colorado, up in Winter Park, not like Denver, like up in Winter Park, in the late 70s. So I first came out to Colorado when I was like 7, and then another time, and then I was 13. There's no more impressionable age than 13. Got to come out to Colorado for 2 weeks. Go to my first concert at Red Rocks, which, if you are a music fan, Red Rocks better be on your bucket list and put it on there now.
Yes.
Well, I live 15 minutes from there, so just come, stay with me.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Well, listen, I'm taking that rain check. We're taking that rain check.
Oh my God. And you'll take me up on it. And I'm like, I am literally right here.
Oh no, we're taking it up.
We just might.
So no, we're going. No, we might. No, we're doing
it. We could bring this back full circle and say, but there you go. Got third row to see LCD sound system in August. Very excited. So,
oh my gosh.
I live in Colorado.
Nice.
Wait, where I even asked my mom, can I just stay out here and go to high school? And she was like, on the plane. Created a tense moment when we got little. They went to camping with the family. I was 13. I got on the plane with a Tweety Bird shirt, and just 2 weeks later, I get off the plane with a shirt that says "bitchin," and I'm wearing like glasses and a jean jacket. That's all it takes to change your whole persona at 13. It's 2 weeks in Colorado. So it's dope. So I have that eye on the prize, and so fast forward, get through high school, play soccer, play volleyball, go to Kalamazoo College, play soccer, play Division III soccer. I went there, liberal arts school. I'm studying art history and economics. And art history was really my passion. I was like, what am I going to do with an art history economics degree? So I took a leap of faith, applied to the Michigan Business School, had to get waitlisted because I was a transfer. So what did I do? I drove myself out to Colorado. I lived out and worked in Colorado for the summer. Found out that I got in, like literally I need to be back and, to Michigan in like 2 weeks. Went back, played one more year of soccer. Division I club was not good enough for Division I. Graduated. That was on the list. And immediately moved here. Immediately moved to Colorado.
Nice.
And I've been here.
Colorado's fantastic state.
And I'm so glad I came 95. It is way different than it was in 95, without a doubt. And now I live up kind of I'm just not as much of a city dweller now. I travel, I go to cities when I come home. I really like my serenity. So I'm very grateful. And that is, that's that this year. Yes. Okay. Anyway.
We have those little guys as well. What do you have?
We have 2 pit boxer mixes.
Is it a pit
boxer mixes?
Pit boxer.
And Bess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah.
Amazing. We have 2 Chihuahuas, Kingston and Bronx.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And the name of our children, by the way, is Paris, Brooklyn, and Berlin.
Oh.
So we kept the whole traveling thematic thing.
I've got a Hank Diesel. My son's name is Hank Diesel.
Yeah, Hank Diesel.
That's awesome.
It's freaking
That's awesome.
amazing.
He's
I
amazing.
just want to meet him and just say his name like several
amazing.
times.
He's amazing. He's very cool.
That's amazing. Well, congrats. Well, I know in the pre-interview you did mention Michigan and Colorado, so we took it upon ourselves to do a little fact or fiction that we want to do with you.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? We want to know how much
I mean, you can't
of a Midwesterner or Coloradian.
for something that you don't know is coming at you. So yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I'm going to go for the first one.
you go.
So, does true or fact? True. Wait,
Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction?
True or fact? Right. Colorado has more microbreweries per capita than any other state.
See, I'd want to say true, but man, there's some other states that, I mean, we got the party started, with Fat Tire and all that. So
That's true, right?
Well, you guys are the Godfathers.
So I'm going to go.
Yeah, you guys started the whole microbrewery.
That's true.
Yes,
I thought you were going to ask about
that's
hot
good.
shots.
Okay.
Got that party started too. So anyway.
You did too. Yeah, that's funny.
So now we're gonna go to Michigan. The fact or fiction? Does Michigan has more lighthouses than any other state in the U.S.?
Oh God. That feels like fact as well.
Oh my God, who are you? I gotta make these
No,
better.
that is true. I actually did
It
not
is?
think that. I was thinking in my mind for some reason. I don't know why.
I was thinking more like
Boston or
Boston,
Maine
like
or-
the East Coast. But
Yeah.
Compared to
true.
Yeah,
And so
true,
like,
true.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a woman who's actually said, I think I was trying to sell her a cruise. I think I'm going to, but she also said, yeah, we're doing a cruise on the Great Lakes. I've never done it. I'm like, yeah, because it's awesome. And you think about how much coastline.
That's amazing.
The lighthouse in St. Joe, which is south, like on the way to Chicago, so cool. Yeah, lighthouses. All right, cool. That's fun.
Well,
there you go.
very cool.
Nice. Go, baby. You're
All
next.
right. The official state snack. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, the official state snack, babe.
Oh, the official state snack of Colorado is hot wing.
Mm.
There.
And you people eat a lot of hot wings? I'm going to say false.
That's true. I don't know. I think of Colorado. I think of a bunch of like vegan food for some reason. I don't know. Like
Well-
very
No,
like,
I mean,
Well,
tacos, man. I mean, the Mexican food out here is amazing. But people that
really?
tacos
Okay, there
are,
you
like,
go.
on everything. You like every menu. So good.
true, but it doesn't have an official state snack. But its state food is considered green chili.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Green
I'm
chili
like,
all
there you go.
day long. Green chili. When I go to Europe for a week,
What do you say?
and then you've been doing the European breakfast, even though it's super broad and amazing on Riverside. I come home just like, can I just have some eggs, some green chili, and some salsa? And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So it is bomb. Put it on anything. Just do shooters of it. Yeah,
Well,
great.
if we're ever on a Riverside river cruise together,
You're gonna bring it up
I'm
on.
gonna go and knock on your door and say, could I get some of that green chili? All right. So the next one.
Is the Great Lakes are visible from space?
Yes.
That's a fact. Man, she's on a roll. She is on a roll. I thought I had her. No, I failed.
And our last one.
Last one. Michigan has had a floating post office that delivered mail by boat, and it still operates today.
Now that feels like it should totally be true, but it might not still be operating.
It's good. Yeah.
It's
awesome.
It's still operating. It even has its own zip code, by the way. It's 48222.
That's awesome.
I love it. Those are
There you go.
fun.
Well,
Those are
I'm
fun.
glad
Great
you
questions.
Yeah. I'm glad you have fun, and it has to do around you, your background and your places. So, but the next segment,
Let's get into what we really want to do.
yeah,
What we
the
all
Wanderlust,
came
and
here
this
for,
is
right?
really exactly, and this is really the heartbeat of these passport profiles is the Wanderlust of Riverside, river cruising. We really want to, and I know we touched a lot upon it in the beginning of our conversation, but I really want to do a deep dive because I think it's become a passion point for us as travel advisors. That there's so much travel experiences that I feel that are being kind of like, I don't want to use the word dismissed, but kind of
Have a stereotype.
like they're interpreted wrongly or falsely, and we definitely need
We're
your
here
voice
to set
here
the record straight
to
on
talk
River
about it.
Cruise. So this is where you're really paying attention.
100%.
So
Yes.
how are we gonna start this? Just go.
I want
Just go.
you. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my let's just go for it, and let's go ham. I feel that there is a stigma based on other, I guess, brands that I think for the betterment of the actual market has promoted fantastically, but I feel that it's almost like Kleenex, right? It's almost like these brands that we attach to certain things that doesn't necessarily encompass the real experience. I feel like those brands have kind of like, I don't want to say monopolized the idea of river cruising, but I think people have in their own way, kind of, because they're constantly marketing, and their marketing has been pretty effective. What's your take on that? Like, what is,
So yes, absolutely. And when you think about a new category that so many people know nothing about, and the human brain does like to make shortcuts for decisions. We're bombarded with decisions all the time, right? So that like, hey, I'm going to grab, I'm going to know that. And so it does take us disruptors to disrupt that thought process and say that is one way to river cruise. And I think there's a perception that all river cruises are the same because the ships are small. Most of the ships are 135, square feet. They're only 45 40 feet wide. They have to go through the locks. But it's just like anything, like a hotel. Like, a hotel is a structure with walls and windows. But every hotel has a unique feel. You walk in the lobby, you greeted by the staff, and river cruising is the same way. And it is so intimate, and it is so flexible. That is one area that I definitely want us to talk a little bit more about. They think it's just like you go, and then you're just like marching around in graves, seeing stuff, and getting back on your shit, and eating your food, falling asleep, waking up, marching out and seeing things. It's not even close, and it's definitely not even close with Riverside, because Riverside really plays to the flexibility that is river cruising. We simply want to facilitate you getting to see the Europe that you want. If you're a shopper and spa person, well, then go on the Mozart and, get a couple spa treatments, go use the steam and sauna, get into the towns and go shopping. If you're more adventure, take a bike off board every day. We have bikes on board. We have more adventurous excursions. I kayaked 5 miles under the Pont du Gard. Is one of my favorite excursions in the south of France. If you're a foodie, okay, now this is where we really distinguish ourselves. So the food is going to always be good on a river cruise. The whole category's up more, right? So you can't really compare. It's like if the travel continue on, like from very kind of entry level, economical trip, whatever, we'll just say trip, up to super luxury, river cruising's like this. So already up market, but we really differentiate on the food. I mean, we put less people on board. We have larger galleys. We have more chefs. We cook everything on demand. It is like Michelin star, quality. Wow. The presentation, the flavors, the variety, the quality, the prevalence of food is, you cannot go hungry on a Riverside cruise with your 24-hour room service.
Well, I've checked your sources because we've eaten.
Yeah.
At Riverside, and I could tell you that you're spot on. It was actually, I think, the best meal we had that week on all the ships, and honestly, and
an amazing formulation.
Yes, we're the only line that has on every ship, because we really,
she was
fantastic.
She was so great.
She was from Colombia, I think, right?
Yeah,
she was Colombian.
So, we're from Miami and he's Cuban, so we started talking to her, and I mean, the knowledge that she had, and we told her exactly what we wanted, and she brought exactly what we wanted. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah. But that flexibility is, I think, an amazing topic, because I feel, because of, again, the perception of cruise, that there is a restrictive essence to going on a river cruise, and I couldn't disagree with that type of point of view. I did have someone kind of push back on me, that they feel like you're not really seeing a city if you're not staying overnight.
Okay.
We
can talk about that.
So what is your POV on that?
Actually, if you look at it like a 7-night sailing, there's many nights where we do overnight or leave so late that you basically have overnight. You can get out into the city at night. Absolutely. Probably, I would say on a 7-night sailing, probably at least like 3 of those nights you can get out and explore. And then the other nights, it's really cool when you're sailing
Nice.
right during dinner. It's really cool, especially in the summer if you get up on the Vista deck and the sun's going down. It's amazing pop-up bar. So you get both. But if you want to do only land, if you want to see 3 cities, okay, great. You stay in the city, then you go to the train station, and then, you repeat the thing over. You are going to eat up a lot of your vacation time and logistics. And I don't care how much money you have. Money does not buy you time. And River Cruise gives you time back on your vacation. And you know what? Why does every vacation have to be the be all end all? Go on a river cruise, fall in love with the city, go back and do it on land.
100%. Yeah, it's true. And it's also too, what's great is that you can also do a pre and a post city area anyway. So that's also available to you.
Yeah.
So those are things that I think that a lot of people don't, they just conceptualize, oh, it's only 1 week. Well, no, your vacation can be longer. You could just stay a little bit longer. And
that's why we have 3 and 4 night cruises too, back to flexibility. Or if you just want to get a try, like you're just not sure.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, every person who has ever tried river cruising with a 3 or 4 night is like, why do we have to get off? It'll happen to you. So, but your choice.
Got it. No, but you know what? That's a great point because, to your point, if they just want to try it out, just those 3 or 4 nights, they might regret it because it's so good. I get it. And I think another topic, obviously, that it's like the big elephant in the room, right? It's age, right? Yeah. Like the perception of age. Yeah. And I know you're ready for this one. I doing some research. We did some research here that a 2023 CLIA study revealed that 48% of North American travelers think river cruising is only for retirees.
Yep. I'm surprised that higher.
Yet nearly 36%. Yeah. So was I. But actually, yet nearly 36% of new river cruises are between 35 and 54 years old.
And that multi-generation.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's an upswing. It seems like, a lot of them think that it's for retirees, but it seems now there is like almost like a curvature going into like younger travelers and the river
because
cruise. Like, give us. I'm sure you have a lot more of data and research on that.
Actually, I'm more of like, let's just talk about what we really see and how humans are and how they want to travel. Obviously, we also read COVID. More people like to travel with their families or with their friends because they couldn't. We have connecting rooms, which is nice. But at the end of the day, I told all travel advisors, don't wait to start selling river cruise till later in your career, and don't wait to start offering river cruising until your clients get near retirement, because people are just different now, right? I mean, come on. Like when I was growing up, I at least got on a plane a couple times, and then right after college, I went to Europe for 3 weeks. But before, in previous times, you had to like work, retire, go on your few tours, and call it a day, call it a life. So it's just travel is evolving more and more. Younger. Here's a trend I see. I believe this because I'm like, my son at 16, far more mature than I was at 16. That kid's emotional IQ. I can leave him home alone. My mom would not have left me home alone to the duration I have left him. They're kind of like old folks. So I think younger people prioritize what they love earlier on because they've seen us all. Either our generation or the generation before, we have showed them the path of not doing what you love, of not living the way you love to live. So they're like, you know what? It might be someone who's in their 40s who is not as wealthy as the person who's 70 but guess what? Every dollar they have, they spend on travel. And when they travel, they're luxury. Yeah. And we want to deliver to that. And again, just back to the flexibility and just the intimacy. And I mean, it's just not a cookie cutter thing. You're going into towns. I mean, how many people have heard of Maastricht, Netherlands? I've never been there. So cute, so amazing, so great for like bars and shopping. And you're like, oh, really? And you always can. I love to shop on, for clothes in particular when I'm traveling because it's a good conversation starter. So it's just like, there is European river cruising is simply an easier way to open up Europe to somebody, And I just said this, I think on another podcast I was doing. It was like, traveling's about getting out of your comfort zone. Don't go on a trip and expect it to be exactly like home because you're going to stay at home and save a lot of money, right? So push yourself. And then, but if you are out on a river cruise and you're a little outside your comfort zone, then you would run back to the ship and get pampered and taken care of, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Let me ask you, tell me what makes Riverside so much different than all the other river cruises that are out there.
It's really the crew and the culinary. The crew, magical, amazing. I mean, the two things that get me up in the morning are my team and the crew on those ships, because they are being their authentic selves. They are delivering a highly personalized level of service that is so true in who they are. And it is a different feeling when you experience service that way. It is a different feeling, it is, because I know, especially Americans at times, like we want things, but we don't want to be over, we get a little like, oh, it's too much, but our crew is going to read the client, give them more or less of what they want, be real to them. And it just, it's magical to watch. And then the culinary, like I said, I mean, you are not going to get, okay, here's a little proof point. Take it for what it is. Right now, the Recommend Readers' Choice Awards or voting is live. There's a category, Best Culinary for Cruise. We are the only river cruise line listed. The other lines are ocean.
That's amazing.
Well, congrats, because we won't win. But I think just being in that mix, that says a lot.
No. You're going to win. You're going to win because you're on this podcast and our 500 subscribers are really going to push it through.
So,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
And then there's all the other, stuff. But if you want to boil it down to listen, if you value amazing food and you value really cool, not stuffy, sweet service, Riverside's the line for you.
I couldn't agree more. As at least in my experience, I will add something to this though. Your spa.
It's the best on the river. It is the best on the river for sure.
No. It's the best out of in my hand. I compare it to some hotels here, and I'm like, what?
So
when I walked into that spa, amazing.
The boats are
amazing.
Extra wide. It's 75 feet wide. And that's why it's confined to the Danube. It can't go on the smaller locks, but it gives you the space to have this amazing spa. But at least every Riverside ship does have a spa room and an indoor pool. But to the spa services that you got, we have Natura Vista product. We use in the spa. We also put it in the suites. We cross-pollinate, cross-train. The parent company is a hotel company, Seaside Collection Hotels, which is why we love Riverside. Seaside, Riverside. A lot of people don't know that. And the Seahorse, a lot of people ask, what? Seahorse River? It's from the parent company, but it's really nice, and Seaside adopts blue, Riverside adopts green. And but the massage therapist on Riverside, or spa specialist that's what they do. And we cross-train with the Faye Spa. They have one property in the Maldives, private island, the Sonolu, which is basically 6-star property. So you're getting 6-star spa service brought to you on a river cruise in Europe.
Amazing.
On Riverside.
Okay, so my jaw, I have to. No, definitely. That's amazing. And so again, what is one thing in terms of multi-generational? That's another thing I wanted to touch upon in River Cruise.
Which is what I really deal with a lot of multi-generational families. And I think we're a perfect example. We have kids that are all the way from 12 to 21. We do. And then we have, the in-laws. So it's like a perfect mix.
The same
built-in group.
Yeah.
Right. So, and
it's great. It's awesome. We want to see
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that was my question. Is there because again, we've spoken to different travelers and one traveler is like, oh, but if it's multi-generational, I don't want to go on a river cruise and have a 5-year-old running around or so I've heard that type of feedback. What is your take on that?
We have no limit for a reason. At the end of the day, with our price point, there's not going to be tons of 5-year-olds running around. But if you've got a very, like I said, a family of 5 that does Beaver Creek and one of their kids is 4, yes, we want them on Riverside. But it's also time of year. I mean, you're going to see more kids there during Christmas markets, maybe during the summer months. But, the price point, alone is going to kind of preclude just a ton of kids all the time. It's not about saying, and we don't have a kids club. We don't cater to children, but we welcome them. And there's a difference. We welcome them. And usually with luxury families, their kids are very well traveled. They're savvy. So, and honestly, I don't care who you are. If you are vacationing and there is just a really precocious, cute as pie little kid on, like, acting all adult, it is precious and awesome and funny, and they're engaging and they want to hear your stories. You can still have a bubble waffle with them, have a little chat over a bubble waffle. And you know what? Get back to your inner child. All right, people, you're going to die soon enough.
I love that. Chuck.
Totally back.
Yeah.
Fun.
Like our 16-year-old would say, period.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great to know. That's great insight because at least our children, that's something that we're proud to say that they've been well traveled since they were 6 months.
6 months.
6 months old. So our 16-year-old went to Ireland at 6 months. So yeah, it's that type of community. I'm glad you guys are welcoming that type of atmosphere. So that's great to know.
Yes.
That's great to know. Is there, I think, last thoughts in terms of river cruising and specifically Riverside? Anything you want to get out there? Anything a message you want to say to our clients?
Go on Riverside. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, you know what? Just give it a try, even if your first time is on Riverside. But I encourage you, if you value the things I talked about, you should go on Riverside. But just give it a try. Grab some friends and go. You will never turn back. You'll wish you had done it sooner. I brought 18 of my friends on my 50th birthday cruise on my previous line. And they were like, why haven't we done this sooner? I'm like, yeah, why haven't you? I've been selling it for 16 years. What's up, people? But they just get caught up in, what? Disrupt your travel. Just disrupt your own travel patterns. Okay. Just disrupt it. I know it's like I drive back to Michigan every 4th of July, right? I do that. Okay. That's one thing I do, but do more, give yourself a chance to try something. And, I also just think you'll love, every time I've been on a river cruise, friendships form. Everyone has a story of, I met them on this and we still communicate. We're going to go on another cruise together. It is a really connecting way of travel. And, who couldn't we use more good humans in their life? Right?
I have one last question.
Yes.
Okay. Which is your favorite, which 7-day would be your favorite itinerary that Riverside offers?
Well,
good question.
I'm going to try, because we probably have a lot of people on here who haven't, either been or sold or whatever. So, the Rhine is the quintessential first time river. If you haven't done it, sailing through the Rhine Gorge, going to Heidelberg, it's really, if you're just wondering, gosh, where should I start? But I think a river that just needs more attention and is just divine is the Mosel, tomato. It is a smaller river that usually embark in Luxembourg or maybe Trier, and then flows into the Rhine. You're going to get into some of the oldest cities in Germany. It is like old world Europe, but you're on a river that's half the size. So if your river ship experience feels even more like, oh my God, we're like on this ship, and like the Riverside is right there. And it's just really, really special and beautiful. And then it flows into the Rhine at Koblenz. They call it the German corner. And it pairs nicely with the Rhine. You can still get the Rhine Gorge. And I'm telling you, anyone listening, if you've not done it, you go do that. You tell me you're not going to come back on another river cruise. I challenge you.
Nice. Good job. I love it. That's amazing. Great question. Great answer. That's now I want to book that. Like,
I know.
I'm booking it. Well, thank you again, Jen. We're gonna kind of close this out, and I think I kind of mentioned to you I was an actor, and
you guys, I feel like I'm not gonna go on my Friday without you.
Well, listen, we could continue this like poolsides and some other, we could FaceTime. There's ways. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. But now, as I mentioned, I was an actor in my previous life. I love the Actor Studio, and they did a questionnaire at the end of their interviews that they kind of wanted to really get an essence and really touch upon something deeper about acting. And so we kind of switched it to travel, right? So this is our little Dorian travel questionnaire.
Right.
Are you ready?
All right. I'm going to go first. All right. Number 1, what place in the world feels like home to your soul and why?
Oh, you know what? Iceland. Iceland was where I've only been once. I would go back. I just loved it's just the beauty. Well, you can get away from people if you really want to. I went on a hike there where we literally didn't see another person for 5 hours. And I love the variety of it. You're driving down the road and it changes topography. You go from lava rock to waterfalls. And I just was like, I don't know, it definitely spoke to my soul. I'm like, all Iceland, all in. I've only been once, but I'm coming for Iceland. I'm going to come back.
Nice. Nice. What's a moment during your travels that changed the way you see the world?
A moment during my travels that made me change the way I see the world. You know what? This is very weird, and I'm not going to remember enough detail. But right after college, I went to Europe for 3 weeks and went with a boyfriend. I should have gone by myself. Only regret in life. But, he was sleeping in one day.
Listen, college students.
Yeah. Yeah.
This whole thing.
So I left all grumpy pants sleeping in, and I literally just walked down and grabbed a coffee somewhere and ended up chatting with this. I mean, he knew English, but not great. I think he might have. I was in Amsterdam. And honestly, I just loved that. I was just like, this, people are people. And when we break down those barriers and just realize like humans are the same the world over in so many respects. And then we are all unique in some respects. And we should really honor both those aspects of our humanity.
100%.
I love that.
Well said. Well said.
All right, next one. If travel were a teacher, what lesson has it taught you again and again? Which I think you kind of just touched on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just that you can't stop learning. There's always going to be more to learn. And every time you learn, your worldview changes and you get more. I mean, travel is about, you talk about, finite mindsets, people like, happiness is finite, money is finite, it's only available to so many people. Infinite mindset here, people. Travel is that infinite mindset. You all deserve it. You all deserve to travel. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be yourself. And travel will reinforce that and make you feel grateful. 100% feel grateful for what you have because you have a lot.
Very, very true. Oh my God.
We see that with our kids when we travel and just seeing it through their eyes and it's nice.
It does humble them. You know, I think seeing the world and because you see how big it is and how and interconnected we are. To your point, we're different but yet also interconnected, and it's a good lesson. Great lesson, actually. Okay, we're gonna go into the sense and memory aspect of the whole thing. So something that you saw, heard, smelled, or touched that still lingers with you from your past journeys.
Yes. So I haven't spent much time in Barcelona, but I was going on a top producer cruise, years ago. And I'm an art is my jam, right? I could probably, God, I have so many stories now that you like, oh no, shoot. But okay, shoot, I just switched gears. I'll say that I do virtual reality with Bjork. I signed it. In Contemporary Art Museum in Barcelona. But I'll tell you the one that really got me. And I'm gonna butcher the tale. I may not even try. On my 50th birthday cruise, went to the Tyrrell where Vincent Van Gogh died. Okay, or say I looked at him. I was the guide.
Did you go to the Sunflower Field?
We went to the grave. It was just, okay. So I don't think it was sunflowers yet, but it was the tour was amazing. The guide was, just her cadence. But I also brought my, oh my God, I love Vincent. I love art. And we, get done and, I just was enraptured with the whole thing. And it was just felt so special to me. And then we get back on the coach to go back to the river ship and the guide plays, I'm sure you guys, down the place. Starry Serena and paint your own.
Oh no!
Ready. And I literally just.
Oh,
I was a puddle, And I was like, I could never have had this experience if I hadn't gone on a river cruise. There you have it.
There you go. There you go. Well, fun fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Before I was a travel agent, I was an art teacher for Miami-Dade schools here for 20 years.
Love that.
So I taught
Thank you for your
art. I taught AP art history. Yeah. So, and I taught AP art history, and I brought students to Europe over the years, being an art teacher and my love of travel, and that's where it came out to it. So thank you. But yes, 20 years I was a teacher, art teacher, not just teacher, art teacher. And fun fact, well, not really a fun fact, but Vincent van Gogh did commit suicide in the sunflower field. He did not die. And they brought him back to his brother's house where he did pass away.
And we stood in the room. We stood in the room. And that's
a morbid fun fact. There you go.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, that was intense.
Yeah. So, but
with life comes death.
Yeah.
And you know what? Humans got to be able to that, which is all the more reason to get out there and live your life.
Yeah. She's. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you came on. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this is the stuff. I really, really appreciate
Thank you.
it. I really appreciate it.
So,
right, last one.
Second to last one. I got the last one.
Oh,
or you want to get the last one?
No,
So you have the last word?
No, it's fine. Okay, so who is someone who you met through travel that you'll never forget?
Oh, who I met through travel that I'll never forget. Terry Burke. So Terry Burke used to, and she, I don't know, she had a lot of different jobs. She worked at NCL at one point, cruise planners, and then she came to the Global Stay Brands. And I would say she changed the trajectory of my life. I was in marketing. We connected and we bonded. And so she's a dear friend, she's a dear human in my life forever. But I actually, got the courage to kind of ask the VP of sales, could you ever see me in sales? And Terry was in the national account role, and she actually, had already said that she's got to, take care of her dad for a while. And, moved into sales and really changed my life. And, I literally just spoke to her yesterday, and I tell her thank you all the time. And she goes, no, Jen, it was you. And I said, no, thank you all the time. Thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love those connections, those bonds that you make, it's special. All right. So this is the last one. So I need you to complete this sentence. To me, travel is the art of.
Oh, yeah. To me, travel is the art of letting go and being you.
Amazing. You are glorious. You are glorious. Thank you so much, Jen. This has been a true treat.
For me too. It was great. Really awesome.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. We really also have a passion for travel, not only it's an art, but yeah. So that's why we do this. We really feel like, I think when people like yourself that are in the industry and our clients hear from you directly, they understand that there's people that do care and people that do. There's a heart behind this, and a mind behind this, and it's important for them to see, so they could feel more at ease booking their next river cruise.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are wonderful, and I'm really grateful to have met you. So let's keep this going.
Yes, 100%.
100%. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
And we'll see each other soon, hopefully. Bye.
Bye. So wait, she can't sign off.
She needs to keep up the.
I look hands. I tell hands off. Hands up in the air. Hands off.
All right, now. Well, thank you again so much. What I'll do is once I have it edited and uploaded, I'll send you the videos.
Yeah.
And also too, we're gonna have our team kind of create a press release, where as well. So I'll send that prior to obviously sending it out. Make sure you're okay with it. Any things you want to make a change in.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Lauren, and then we'll go from there and just kind of spread the word.
Thank you guys. Have an amazing weekend.
You too.
I'm not touching anything.
Bye.
Sweet.
Bye.